Yeah, here in superposition theorem only, for dependent sources, how are we going to solve? Using superposition theorem. Now question is like this: find the current in 5 ohm resistors using superposition theorem. Okay, here 5 ohm resistors, it means the circuit containing two resistors. This is the circuit. Five ohm, one, second 5 ohm, and current source. Okay, here 5 ohm, 5 ohm. This is 20 volt plus or minus. This is 12 volt plus or minus, and this is 10 ampere. Okay. See, by seeing we can say this is which type of source. This is diamond shaped. Yes,
Independent source.
dependent source. Plus minus, this is given as 10 I y. Okay, these are the independent sources. Independent sources are drawn by a circle and polarity plus or minus outside the circle or inside the circle, and dependent sources are drawn as a diamond shaped with polarity indicated with on which it's depend IY, where in the question itself they have given that this current IY, this source produce some voltage depend upon this IY. Okay, now the question is find the current in 5 ohm resistors. It means we need to calculate the current through this 5 ohm, left side 5 ohm, as well as this left side 5 ohm, as well as this right side 5 ohm by superposition theorem. Okay, now for this first step, now what are the steps? We need to consider a single source acting. Depend upon that, we need to calculate the current through both the resistors. Now for this I am going to consider 12 volt. Okay, in this example I am going to consider 12 volt only first. Okay, that is the circuit is redrawn like this, 12 volts plus minus. Okay, now if I am going to consider only 12 volt in the sense other voltage sources, what I have to do? If voltage source is there, there is independent voltage source is there, I need to replace that with tell me. if I'm considering only 12 volt, then I'm going to replace this independent voltage source 12 volt with this internal resistance. Here internal resistance is not given, so short circuit. Okay, then coming to this 10 ampere current source, I'm going to replace this with open circuit. But I am not going to replace this dependent voltage source. We need to keep this dependent voltage source as it is. Okay, now I am going to redraw that circuit by considering only 12 volt. 5 ohm. This one is short circuited. This one is open circuited. So my circuit will become like this if I consider only 12 volt. Okay, this is 5 ohm, 5 ohm plus or minus 10 IY, and this is the direction given IY. Okay, now tell me, apply the KVL. Current is flowing in this direction. Apply the KVL. Apply KVL for this loop. Yeah, tell me from this end. Yeah, current entering into the resistor always positive, negative, positive, negative. Current enters into any element, passive element, we need to mark that polarity as positive. Okay, now tell me, apply KVL for this loop and tell me the equation. Come on. Yes, yes, anyone?
minus 5 IY.
Yes, minus 5 minus 5 IY. Yeah, next this
minus
dependent
10
source.
IY.
Yes, minus 10 IY. Next
minus 5 IY.
minus 5 IY. This voltage source.
Equals to minus 12.
Plus to minus is
Plus-
nothing but plus 12
plus 12.
equals to 0. Okay, if I simplify this one, minus 15 minus 20 IY minus 20 IY equal to minus 12. IY is equals to 12 by 20, that is 0.6 ampere. Okay, now I consider only 12 volt and I replaced this 20 volt with a short circuit, this 10 ampere with open circuit, and I kept dependent source as it is. So I got IY. So I'm going to call this one as I dash is equals to IY is equals to 0.6 ampere. Okay, this is the first step by considering 12 volt. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to consider 10 ampere only. Okay, now what will happen, we'll see. I read on the circuit. Now considering only 10 ampere, I need to replace this 12 volt by short circuit. Wherever the independent voltage sources are there, we need to replace that with short circuit. Here I am considering 10 ampere. Now I need to keep my dependent source as it is. Then I need to short circuit this 12 volt also. This is plus minus. Okay, now IY is flowing like this. See, IY 5 ohm, 5 ohm, 10 IY. This is 10 ampere. If I consider 10 ampere only, I replace both the independent voltage sources with the short circuit. Fine. This is the circuit. Now current is flowing. See, I am going to mark polarities plus minus plus minus. Okay, now two loops are there. I am going to take this I1 for this I2. Okay, now this branch, see this branch due to 10 ampere. Now I can write I2 minus I1 super mesh equation. Yeah, tell me. Super mesh equation for this I2 minus I1 is equals
10.
10. I2 minus I1, for this I am writing. Okay, I1 equals to 10. Here we can see this I1 current is the same as IY. See here, same current is flowing through 5 ohm resistor I1, that is same as IY. Agreed? Same path is there. I1 is 5 ohm, IY also 5 ohm. So I can write I1 is equals to IY. Now how to KVL for this super mesh? Anyone? How to
By
apply?
making open
Yeah,
circuit
Minus 5
making, we are going to
current as
apply KVL only for the outer loop, not considering this 10 ampere. That every fine. Now applying a KVL, apply KVL to outer loop. This is my outer loop. See, this is my outer. I am not considering this 10 ampere. Okay, now tell me the equation for KVL for this outer loop. Minus 5 minus 5 IY or I1? I1 is equals to IY. Okay, minus 5. Okay, first I will write minus 5 IY. Then this one minus 10 IY. Then
minus 5 I2
minus 5 I2 is equals to 0. But I know that I1 equal to IY. So minus 5 I1, 10 IY minus 5 I2 equals to 0. Okay, this is my B equation. This is my A equation. If I solve equation A and B, I'll get I1 and I2. Tell me, and I2. Solve equation A and equation B. Okay, I will tell here. I1 I'll get as minus 2.5 ampere. Afterwards you can cross verify this one. I2 I got as plus 7.5 ampere. Okay, now how we are going to decide the
Yes, sir. Minus
how we are
2.5
going
and
to minus 2.5 and 7.5. Okay, now how we are going to decide the signs. See here, for this current, for this resistor, current is flowing in this direction. You can see current is flowing in this direction. Okay, and this current I1 is due to this 10 ampere. This is flowing opposite. Correct? Means direction of this I1 and 10 ampere is not same. And coming to this, see here, don't confuse. Okay, now coming to this second loop, the 10 ampere direction and I2 direction, that is I2 is flowing through this 5 ohm, are same. Now I can write current through left side of 5 ohm is equals to I1, right? That I'm going to call it as I double dash, that is equal to this minus 2.5. Okay, this minus 2.5 ampere is due to this 10 ampere current source. The direction of this current source and the current I1 are opposite, so I am going to mark it as plus 2.5 ampere in this direction. See here, this direction, because this is due to this 10 ampere. Okay, now same for current through, now for same current through right side, this right side 5 ohm is equals to I2. Okay, I2, that is equal to I double dash. Okay, now current through 5 ohm resistor I2 direction and the current source direction is same, so plus 7.5 ampere in this direction. If I am going to keep minus 2.5 also, no problem, because however we are going to add all the currents at the end of the calculation, because superposition theorem states that if the source is acting alone, whatever the current through or voltage across, finally we need to add all the effects. Okay, now I shown this direction because this is positive direction, here in this meaning is negative. While we are adding, we are going to subtract that one. Fine. Now next we are going to consider 20 volt only. See here, if I consider only 20 volt, yeah, now I consider only this 20 volt, then what is the procedure? I need to short this 12 volt voltage source. I need to open this 10 ampere. Here 5 dependent source I'm going to keep, that is this. Then this 20 volt, I opened this, I shorted this. Okay, now 5 ohm 10 IY plus or minus. Okay, IY is in this direction, plus minus plus minus plus minus. This is 20 volt. Now apply KVL. Okay, apply KVL. Minus 5
IY
minus 5 IY
minus 10 IY
minus 10 IY
minus 5 IY
minus 5 IY
minus 20
minus 20 equals to 0.
equal to 0.
Yeah, IY equals to, see, total 50 minus 20 IY, that is plus 20, IY equals to 20, that is minus 1, correct? Minus 1 ampere. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Here we can see, as I discussed just now, due to this current 10 ampere, if this is opposite direction, I am going to take it as negative. Okay, same direction positive. Okay, now here also, due to this 20 volt voltage source, current is flowing like this, correct? It is not supporting this IY current. So I'm going to call this, say here, IY as I triple dash, that is 1 ampere in this direction, is nothing but minus 1 only. Okay, that too for both the resistor. Now using superposition theorem, here this is I got as plus 1. Okay, now don't confuse with plus 1 minus 1. Okay, anyhow at last we are going to add all the effects from individual sources. Okay, now first one, using superposition theorem, current through left side of this one, left 5 ohm is for all the cases, for all the cases we consider, here I will write I dash, I double dash and I triple dash. Okay, now anyone tell me I dash, I double dash, I triple dash. This I dash is due to the effect of 12 volt.
12 volt.
Yeah, I double dash is due to effect of 10 ampere and I triple dash is due to
20 volt.
20 volt. Here we need to add all the three currents. Okay, now tell me. Sorry. Current through left 5 ampere. Due to 12 ampere, I got as 0.6 ampere. Then I double dash, due to 10 ampere I got minus 2.5 ampere. Then due to 20 volt, I got
-1.
minus 1 ampere. Total how much? 2.6 minus 0.6.
2.9. 3.5 minus 0.6.
Yes, 2.9 ampere. That is minus or
Minus 2.
minus 2.9. Okay, or I simply write equals to plus 2.9 ampere in this direction. Agreed? Okay. Here you see current IY is in this direction. Here, this main diagram you can see current IY is in this direction. Okay. So now we got minus 2.9. To make it positive, I can write plus 2.9 in this direction. Agree? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, the current through right side of 5 ohm. Current through right 5 ohm. That is 0.6. You can observe whenever I am going to consider the voltage source only, where the current through both the 5 ohm resistor is same. Okay, the only difference when I am going to consider the current source alone, then the current flowing through 5 ohm, both the 5 ohms is different. Okay, now for current through this left side of 5 ohm is first 0.6 ampere, then plus 7.5 ampere,
Here. -1
plus 1 ampere.
ampere.
Total is
7.1.
7.1 ampere. Okay, this is the same as IY direction. So I can simply 7.1 ampere in this direction. If you didn't mention this direction and also fine. Okay, there is not necessary to mark this one, but at least current through resistors up to this is fine, 2 ampere and 7.1 ampere. Okay, superposition theorem states that whatever the source acting alone, their effect has to be added to find the current through that resistor or across that resistor. Understand? Superposition theorem is understood, correct, right? What the how you're going to solve those problems and all, right?
Yes, sir.